When you start any anime, one of the first things you see is the opening. Some might try to fool you into thinking a show might be a certain way just to pull the rug under you, but for the most part, an opening gives you a general idea of what the show you're watching will be about. But that's something you already knew coming into this video, so let me ask you a question. What makes an opening stand out? What makes an opening memorable? Dare I ask, what makes an opening iconic? Questions of this nature, there truly is no right answer. That's going to depend from person to person. But if you were to ask me those questions, I would simply point at the just immense catalog of openings from Bleach that are, in my opinion, a good measurement of what an opening should be. From the musical aspect, the visuals, and how it accurately represents its source material, a good opening will more often than not try its best to hit all of these notes. And Bleach openings knock these notes out of the park consistently. While this video could come across as nostalgia speaking, as I'm writing this script, I'm actually watching every single opening thus far, which kind of throws nostalgia out of the window. I just love these openings very much. Even the openings that I don't like musically as much are phenomenal in other areas. For starters, do I even need to talk about the massive impact that Bleach's first opening left behind? Let's actually talk about that for a moment. From the music, the visuals, and overall aesthetic, it is absolutely zero surprise why Asterisk is still highly regarded 20 years later. It perfectly sets the foundation of Bleach's colorful artistic expression that is throughout the series, and if this opening didn't set that standard, who knows how Bleach would have been perceived around that time when it first premiered. Then there's the Techno Life, followed by Ichiri no Hana that perfectly set the vibes and tones for the Soul Society arc in their respective sections, with Soul Society arc being the arc that really sets the stage for the remainder of Bleach's story. These two openings being as fondly looked as they are makes perfect sense. Then there's the first filler opening, Tonight, that is shown during the Bound arc, and I'm not going to sit here and lie for the sake of this video. I have not watched a singular filler episode in Bleach. Since I started watching anime with Naruto, I learned to always have a filler guide at the ready whenever watching a long-running anime. But despite never watching the Bound arc, I actually enjoy the crap out of this opening. It gave me plenty of vibes reminiscing to the first opening, Asterisk, and how colorful and visually appealing it is. And when we get to stars of Thousand Year Blood War anime, I will expand on this a bit more. Then we go back to canon material with Rolling Star, starting the Arrancar saga, very strong, and good God almighty, the Arrancar saga stretch of openings need to be written down in history books, man. There's absolutely zero misses here. No misses at all. The next opening is probably top 3 in my opinion just from a musical standpoint, and that is Alone's. Like I talked about in my Bleach soundtrack video, the Arrancar saga is very much Spanish influenced, and Alone's is the only opening in the entire saga that actually showcases that influence with its music. The full song is even better. I genuinely recommend listening to the entire song if you haven't already. It's a banger. After Dark is next in line, and it perfectly showcases the Espada with one of the most iconic shots in the entire anime as a whole, while also having a banging tune that fits the stretch of the story as Ichigo is infiltrating Hueco Mundo in order to rescue Orihime. Then we go back to another filler opening with Chubra for the Amagai arc, and this is a bit more on the generic side visually in my opinion, but it's not that bad musically. This one is probably the most dull opening of the series in my opinion. We return to the Arrancar saga with Velonica, and wow, this opening is very colorful and I absolutely love it. The animation and visual of Ichigo swinging his sword lives absolutely rent-free in my head, man. Then there's of course a fan service opening, because obviously that has to be like a prerequisite for any long-running anime. Here we have Chojo S, which is not only extremely colorful and full of personality as it shows the majority of its cast, but also has Rukia and Orihime singing and dancing together. Do I even need to say more? This is easily a 10 out of 10 opening. Next is another filler opening with Anima Rosa during the Sanpato Rebellion arc, and this one blows Chubra out of the water with ease. You can tell from the visuals alone that a lot of genuine thought was put into it, and the music at first didn't appeal much to me, but it has grown on me to the point it has elevated this opening in my rankings. We return to the Arrancar saga with Change, and it's simply beautiful. Like, the music is phenomenal while also having that climatic feeling, which is perfect, as in this portion of the series, we are reaching the climax of the Arrancar saga as we end up doing so with what I consider to be the greatest Bleach opening that has ever been put out, and that is of course Ranbu no Melody. I don't honestly think this deserves an explanation, but I'm giving it anyway because I just want to talk about this opening. This shit is so unbelievably peak, man. I established at the beginning of this video the rules of what makes an opening stand out in my eyes. The music, the visuals, and the accuracy of its representation of the source material. This opening is a genuine 10 out of 10 on every singular front, man. Sid absolutely knocked it out of the park with the song. The direction is extremely creative, as the first half of the opening, we just see nothing going on in an empty Karakura town, and as the song increases in intensity, we see that in actuality, this is a regular human perspective of the battle in fake Karakura town, as they can see the Soul Reapers fighting each other, and as the chorus begins, all the arc's chaos unfolds in front of our very eyes. My favorite moment in this opening has to be Rangiku crying for Gin, as we then see time rewinding to the point we see early events of Bleach as far back as Substitute Shinigami arc, and we even see the soul of the girl in the very first episode in the Broken Vase. The more you look into this opening, the better it fucking gets. We go back to filler for the very last time with Blue for the Gote 13 invading army arc. This opening is a visual treat for the most part, as we see captains and vice captains fading against each other in a bombastic spectacle, as the music fits the vibe like a genuine glove. Canon material is back in the forefront once more, as we see what was the last Bleach opening for so many years with Haruka Kanata for Fullbring arc. The music is very sentimental, as it inadvertently marked what used to be the end for the Bleach anime. The visuals at the tail end of the opening showing the episode number cards as Ichigo is walking towards us, simply put, gives me chills and was a proper conclusion to the OG anime. But now that we covered every single OG anime opening, let's talk about 1000 Year Blower arc as we arrive with the first opening, which is Scar, and the quality jumps tenfold from a music and visual perspective. We see briefly Ichigo's journey with White and a revealing Yuha in his inner realm, alongside the bombastic action that shows what's in store for the very first invasion from the Quincy's. Then we get into what is one of my favorite openings in Bleach altogether, with Stars. The style of this opening, like I said earlier in this video, is very reminiscent of Tonight and Asterisk, but the way this opening does things is extremely creative, as instead of showing blatant spoilers of the battles, it actually tries to show us what will occur in the second Quincy invasion with random events throughout the city, as we then see the transition to the actual battle with Ichigo and Uryu clashing against each other. I find it absolutely baffling how people said this opening was mid as it was airing, as I personally believe this opening fits Bleach's style perfectly, going all the way back to his very first opening, but that's just me. Finally, we reach the most recent opening without any words, and this probably has to be the second most visually stunning opening of the series, behind Ranbu no Melody, as I find Ranbu no Melody with a lot more purpose. But this one, from just visual eye candy, this one is incredible. The music gave me a lot of Change vibes, and it also feels like a mirror between these two openings is placed musically. And it's funny because it feels as if we are reaching the climax until things go crashing down. And if you're a manga reader, then you know this core will be an absolute insane crashing, the likes of which we have never seen before animated. That's really it for the openings of Bleach, at least so far, and I think I've expressed why Bleach openings overall are just really good. It's incredible that a series that has been airing for 20 years at this point keeps a massive level of consistency when it comes to its openings, which is why I consider Bleach's openings not only full of artistry, but also extremely important to the overall package the anime brings to the table. To end this video, I want to know what your favorite openings are. Which one do you think deserves more love? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like as well as subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos from yours truly. And with that, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you are. See you guys next time.